Hello, this is Sunday, May the 8th, and we're talking about the spirituality wheel or discovering your spiritual type by Corrine Ware. And yes, we will be talking about the spirituality wheel and what that looks like, what that means, and how that'll help you discover your own spiritual type. Yes, here we have the spirituality wheel that Corrine Ware uses. This is based on the scholarship of a fellow by the name of Urban T. Holmes. And he came up with these categories and she kind of put it together for individual study and congregational study and that sort of thing. So let's start at the top left-hand quadrant. She breaks it down into 4 quadrants. The action minded people. These are folks who see their faith through action. These are folks either out in the streets demanding justice for the oppressed, or those who on the right side of the spectrum are fighting for anti-abortion or whatnot. These are folks who don't see their faith other than out in the streets or out doing something. They're visionary. They have to be, their hands have to be working, their body has to be moving in order for them to find their faith. They have to see an actual outcome or work to an actual outcome. And so they're single-minded, they're focused. The downside of this, the underside of this, is they can fall into moralism. If we move over to the rational side, these are really heady people. These are people who need to think through things, talk through things. These are the idea people. They like clear thought. They like rationalism. Actually, rationalism is kind of the underside of it. They try to think of the faith as something to be understood rationally. These are folks who are really into theology, into Bible study, so theological reflection, ritual. They like teaching, gathering, talking about the spoken word, and understanding God that way. And then on the bottom underneath that, these are the folks who feel God in a very emotional way. They like to share their faith, what they experienced. They like hymn sings. They like gathering together. They like to be emotionally moved. They are pietists, as we use in the Lutheran term. Other folks might see them as being charismatic, but they're generally very heart motivated. And over to the left, we have the folks who are being into mystery. They like union with the absolute. It's here. They like to go deep. These are the contemplatives. They like meditation. They're into transcendental ritual. And they like to focus on the inner world, finding God inside. But also, if you'll see the folk at the top, speculative cognitive, these are folks in the head. At the bottom, affective intuitive. These are the heart and soul people. On the right, you heard me use this language before. These are the cataphatic. This is how God is revealed. They know God. They understand God. God is at the top of what they think. They can understand God intellectually. Underneath that, they experience God emotionally. God is very real to them. Then shift to the other side. God is mystery. They're working towards a goal that they cannot see, but it is there. So these are action people. But underneath that, they bathe in the mystery. For them, God is found in ritual, even in absence, just in silence. These are the contemplatives. So this is an overall beginning to understanding the spirituality wheel. Yeah, and Corrine Ware notes that Urban T. Holmes made a very specific point about creating a circle to create the 4 divisions in. That's because he thought that we needed all of that, all 4 quadrants working together to form a complete whole. And we'll find that probably in our own spirituality. You might find that you'll see yourself in all 4, but most likely you'll find one more dominant than the other. And it also helps you understand folks who find another quadrant more dominant. But when you go through the spirituality type indicator, you will recognize yourself in a whole bunch of these because there's no right answer. For some of the questions, you'll answer it, what is the most true for you? Not which is the correct one, but the most true for you. So when you go through all these questions, go back to the spirituality wheel, which will be in part of the spirituality type indicator, and reflect on which one is most dominant for you. Spectrum, and for me, I take the really heady stuff seriously. I like ideas. You probably figured that out from my sermons. I got a doctorate for fun, that sort of thing. But also, I fall really well into the lower left, the area where mystery and ritual and absence and silence are ways that I connect with God. So those are the two of my more dominant. They kind of oscillate between the two depending what I'm doing. When I'm preaching or preparing a sermon, the little right quadrant is most dominant. But in my personal prayer life, I slide to the left, bottom left, where contemplation and meditation take up the most of my spiritual being and discipline. On Wednesday, we're going to break this down a little bit more.